Brian Peterson is a water management specialist and has been with CVWD for 19 years. He has a bachelor's degree in education from California State University of San Bernardino and is a qualified water efficient landscaper. He also holds certificates from the state of California in water distribution grade 3, water treatment operator grade 3, wastewater treatment plant operator grade 2, and a water use efficiency practitioner grade 1. Please welcome Brian Peterson.
Thank you, Karina. Well, welcome this evening, and thank you for joining us with our first workshop, Reduce Outdoor Watering Use with Efficient Irrigation Practices. So let's get started. So to be water efficient, we must consider irrigation system design and installation. We want to look at field characteristics. With that being said, soil type, size of area, slope, and plant type. We want to look at the irrigation system. We want to look at the drip emitters. We want to look at sprinklers, flow rate, and pressure. We have irrigation scheduling, very important with the irrigation controller, one of these here. And we also want to make sure we perform consistent operations and maintenance. That's very important there. We must, on a daily basis, perform consistency. So let's look at some of the common irrigation issues that we see in site observations throughout the valley. So we see misdirected sprinkler nozzles. So you'll walk around your property and you will see misdirected sprinkler nozzles that are spraying in the driveways, spraying in the roadways, spraying against the homes. And then you're going to see mismatched sprinkler heads. You know, there's a bunch of manufacturers out there, and there's a bunch of varieties out there, and you're going to see mismatched sprinkler heads. You're going to see mixed zones. The zones are going to be plant type. You know, sometimes you're going to see an irrigation valve that comes on, and it's going to have drip emitters, it's going to have bubblers, and it may have spray, all on one valve. We're going to see inefficient spray and drip irrigation patterns. Those patterns come from clogged nozzles, areas around the sprinkler nozzle that you'll see dead spots. Sprinklers that are either tilted back or sunken in. If they're tilted back, they're overshooting and not getting anything here. And if they're sunken forward, they're only spraying right there in front of them and they're not getting that head-to-head coverage. You're going to see leaky irrigation valves. When you walk around the property, there's going to be areas where some residents will have 4 irrigation valves, others will have 4 over there, maybe there's 2. But check those irrigation valves as well and make sure those irrigation valves aren't leaking around the cap, around the seals. You're going to see a lot of overspray. Overspray happens because the pressure may be too high or there may be a wrong nozzle on the sprinkler head. You know, you might need a 90 degree and you might have a 180 on there, and that 180 is overspraying. You're going to see runoff. You're going to see broken irrigation pipes, lateral lines, risers, and those are going to be found when you walk around your property. When you operate your irrigation system, you're going to see that. You're going to see missing sprinklers. You're going to see what you're going to be looking for is the heads on top of the sprinklers. They're going to be missing, or they're going to be damaged from the mower, from the edge trimmer. You're going to see missing emitters. Microspray head emitters are very common to be missing when you do a walk around your property and do an observation. You're going to see clogged spray heads and emitters. You'll be easily able to identify those. When you're walking around the property, you're looking at your turf area, and you're going to look for dead spots, spots that are brown, spots that are yellowish. You're going to see clogged emitters. And more importantly, your irrigation controller, right? So the irrigation controller is designed to program to tell your system when to come on, when to come off, and how many minutes and the time of day. So we're going to make sure that irrigation controller isn't overwatering. We want to make sure that you don't have stuff programmed on program A, program B, program C, where it's very common to see excessive run times. Any questions? Anyone? All right, moving right along. So we're going to look at landscape efficiencies, inefficiency, and we're going to see when we're walking around, you're going to see a sprinkler that's been sunken inward. That can happen. You can drive over that. A mower can hit that. Someone can walk on that and cause that sprinkler to, either what we call sunken towards, or sometimes you will see it tilted out. Well, there's what efficiency looks like. So when you walk around your property and when you're out and about, you're going to see sprinkler pattern like that. And that's showing you that pattern right there is 360 degrees and it's watering. It's got head-to-head coverage and there's no dead spots there. There's no brown spots there, right? Everything looks green. Everything looks like it's growing like it should. So you're going to see this. This is very common. You're going to see a sprinkler there in the pattern. Look at the pattern. It should be a fan. It should be more of a spray, but it's plugged, or what they call it's clogged. So if you were to remove the top of that, and there is it's what we call a nozzle. If you unscrew that nozzle, there's going to be a filter in there, and sometimes that filter will be clogged with sand, debris, or dirt, and it'll cause that. Or sometimes an edger will chip that and cause that as well. And there's what it should look like. So we have a picture showing you what it should look like and what it shouldn't look like. So inefficient and efficient. I'm sure when you walk around, you will see this as well. This is a missing sprinkler body, or maybe it's a missing nozzle, or maybe it's damaged at the threads, or something is wrong, something is obviously wrong there. And we must fix that right away. This kind of leak right here needs to be high alert, because this is going to cause extreme runoff, water waste, and you'll be fined for this. Or, more importantly, your bill will also resemble that it's going to be a high water user, wasteful. And efficiency. So we have rotary nozzles here at the district that we rebate, and this is what it looks like when these nozzles are installed and how efficient this is, right? So this is efficient. This back here on the efficiency side, that's a spray nozzle, right? That's a spray nozzle. And this is a rotary nozzle. And this is better. So when we're walking around and observation of our sites, we're looking for irrigation issues. When you see this, this should alert you and say, hey, I have something wrong here, and look into why do I have all this runoff. And more importantly, if you walk and look behind that bush, you're probably going to have a broken riser, broken lateral line. Something is causing that extreme runoff, water waste. Or you're going to see this one over here on the right-hand side, where you can see that the sprinkler came on, but it's missing the nozzle and it's shooting right up. Any questions? All right. So once again, when you're out walking around and you're observing your landscape and you're doing a site conservation review and you're looking at this and you're saying, what do I have here? Well, we have two problems. We have a shrub area that the sprinkler is actually missing, and the water is coming from the ground. So there's something that should be there and it's not there. Or there's a leak at the bottom of it and it's just shooting right underneath. Or you'll see on the right-hand side, you have a median, you have a roadway right there, and that is a sprinkler that is constantly running, and look how much water is inside that planter in that median area. Wasting water, runoff, overspray into the street, an issue that needs to be looked at, needs attention. So, what do we do to help prevent runoff and overspray? What can create runoff and overspray? Well, we had talked about having the wrong nozzle. So the wrong nozzle on a sprinkler. So if this was your sprinkler here, we will have a 90 degree, a 180 degree, a 360 degree, and we will have an adjustable. You will see that if it's asking for a 90 in a corner, it's very common to see a 180 on that. And 180 degrees is a half circle, so it's going to cause overspray, right? Where you need to replace that 180 and replace it with a 90 degree. So back to this, so what can also cause sloping, right? Poorly graded land. What we can do with that, we can aerate that land or adjust the irrigation controller. Sprinkler heads next to sidewalks. Very common, right? So you walk, you'll see it all over the place. You will see sprinklers right next to a roadway or to a sidewalk or a street, and you will see nothing but overspray and runoff. So also you'll have high pressure. That's, a lot of the systems that come on, this high pressure, and you're going to see misting and fogging. Well, so what corrections can be made? Well, with the wrong nozzle and the radius, we can adjust the sprinkler, or we can replace the nozzle with the correct radius degree. With the sloping and poorly graded land, we'll adjust the irrigation schedule, or we can aerate the land. Moving on down, we can, with our sprinkler heads next to the sidewalks, we can move heads using a swing joint. I brought something today to show you what a swing joint is. So if you have a sprinkler that's next to a roadway or a sidewalk, you can install a swing joint. You can install this swing joint and you can create a buffer area. So if you have something, if this here was my street and I wanted to bring it in, I would install it here and it would bring it in 4 to 6 inches. And you can increase or decrease the height of this as well, right? So you can make it to grade level or bring it down depending on where you need it. And this will create a buffer for you to eliminate runoff. So with the high pressure, reduce the pressure. On the irrigation valve, you're going to have an adjust flow control knob. You can adjust that control knob to reduce that pressure, or you can install a PSI regulator to adjust the pressure down to help out with the misting and fogging. Any questions? There's what it looks like, right? So irrigation runoff. How many of us see this when we're driving around? Right? You see this all over the place. You see this and you think, wow, what a waste of water. We need to fix that, and one way of fixing that again is installing a swing joint or creating a buffer zone to push those sprinklers in. If we see that, we have waste patrol and we will cite you. First, we'll give you a warning. Second, it can be citable if it's not fixed. Overseeding. So overseeding is something that is discouraged under level 2 of the water shortage contingency plan. Air quality issues avoided by not scalping, cost savings, and then maintenance and time saving. So it's something that we discourage. Keep in mind, this year the State Water Resource Control Board adopted emergency regulations requiring CVWD to enforce all demand reduction actions under level 2 of the district's water shortage contingency plan. Currently in effect, no spray irrigation during daylight hours. Restaurants can only serve water upon request, and overseeding is discouraged and increased of water waste patrols. State restrictions. No irrigation during or within 48 hours after measurable rainfall. Broken sprinklers must be repaired within 24 hours of notification. Applying water to outdoor landscapes in a manner that causes runoff to adjacent property, roadways, parking lots, etc. is prohibited. Any questions with this? So what can we do? Water savings recommendations residents can make right away. Reduce irrigation controller, right? So this irrigation controller that the district offers, or the one that you may have at your home, you can reduce the irrigation by changing this knob to start times and reduce the start times, or you can go down and reduce run times. So everyone has an irrigation controller that has outdoor watering, whether it be in your garage or inside your house or somewhere located on your perimeter of your property. Go out to your irrigation controller and adjust that, and you will find out a lot of the time it's just the irrigation controller is overwatering because too many start times and run times have been set too high. So that brings us to the install a smart controller, CVWD's conservation programs, right? So CVWD has a conservation program, and it's one of these. It's a Hunter Pro C irrigation controller that's controlled by the weather. It'll read the weather, and it'll adjust the number of minutes of watering time. And this is free. It's installed and programmed by the district, and is all you have to do is apply online and schedule an appointment. And irrigate at night to minimize water loss to evaporation. Continue watering plants and trees. And remember, skip overseeding this fall, right? Skip overseeding. That's one way to cut cost. It's one way to conserve. And you're doing it for the community, you're doing it for yourself, and you're doing it for future generations. Convert spray nozzles to high efficiency rotary nozzles. Also, CVWD has this as a rebate. It has irrigation controllers, nozzles for the outside watering. Solutions, conservation programs and rebates. Once again, programs, conservation reviews. We offer this service to our customers. You can call up and schedule a conservation review. One of us will come out to your home, walk your property, and look at your meter, make sure there's no movement there, make sure there's no leak there. We will review your irrigation controller. We can actually do a manual test run on the irrigation controller, start your zones, walk your property with you, and identify any areas that need attention, something that you may have overlooked or the gardener did not see, and we can walk that property with you and identify areas that need attention. Landscape workshops like the one you're attending tonight. Conservation kits, those are at the front there at the table. You can see what those are. You can go online. Indoor rebates, we have high efficiency toilets. We have high efficiency wash machines, hot water recirculation pump, commercial pre-rinse nozzles, and outdoor rebates. Right? This is where you're going to see your turf conversion at $3 a square foot to remove turf. So we have sprinkler nozzle upgrade. Once again, the smart irrigation controller install or rebate for our commercial and HOA customers. Any questions on this? Questions? Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We do have 2 more workshops coming up this year. We have one in November. It's called the What's Up with the Drought, so we'll get more into specifics about the drought program, or about the drought on December. That's on November 9th. December 7th, we'll be having a workshop where we get to create holiday gifts with succulents. So for more information and to register for the workshops, to form more information on the rebates, drought updates, irrigation guides, anything like that, you will be able to find that information on our website at cvwd.org. So we have multiple pages on that for rebates, anything for conservation. You're also more than welcome to give us a call and ask for the Water Management Department, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Okay, thank you.